turn it on. Okay. I'd like to call the Thursday, May 4th, 2023 Health Committee meeting to order. We have 4 members present, and so we do have a quorum. We have a consent agenda, which is our minutes, and the bills, which is taking away our fun of our meeting. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda? Motion by Burns, second by Biles. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Do we have any members of the public?
We have had no requests for this meeting.
Thank you. Moving on to departmental matters, Ms. Jessica McKnight from the Health Department Administrator.
Hello. No items for action tonight, but you have my report. I'm happy to try to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Ms. McKnight? No? Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Next up is Tim Wiley, Nursing Home Administrator. Hi, you have one item for action, which is request approval of an independent dietitian contractor agreement. Do I have a motion? Motion by Johnston, second by Byrne. If you'd like to expound on this.
This is our current dietitian consultant. She recently found out very abruptly that the company for which she was working was closing. So she quickly developed her own LLC, and we wish to keep her as our dietitian.
Any questions? Nope, hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. And then you have your monthly report.
Yes, and I promise to keep it under 90 minutes. Tough crowd. Not really. Anyway, we're seeing positive trending again in our metrics. I am happy to share that as of today, our census is 108, and we have 2 admissions tomorrow. So I currently have limited any admissions going forward to those that would be the most profitable for the home, which is an exciting position to be in at this time. So I'm really proud of the team. Recently, we've had conversations with management over case management from both major hospitals, working to partner with them and their networks. Also, the last week of June, we have that OSF physicians group that will begin their resident rounding. So physician residents will actually be rounding in our facility, which to my knowledge is the first collaboration with physicians of a skilled nursing that I know of. So we're excited about that. I would encourage you to look over the report. Our staffing utilization, our agency staffing went up 2%, but we had 3 CNAs out with COVID and a vacation to cover. Just quickly on the financials, a couple of things. The month of March, you'll see, showed a net loss of $360,000. A couple things about March expenses. First of all, March had 3 payrolls, which impacts the expenses for that month. Secondly, in March, we paid the annual liability insurance premium. So one month was hit with, I believe, $443,000 for liability insurance, and that was an annual expense. So you take that out of the equation, actually, we would have had a net operating income for the month of March. So our position's actually a little stronger than it looks on paper. There had been concern over cash on hand, and we started addressing the cash on hand and the AR aging issues in the month of March. And just some highlights from that. I did not include this in my report, so I apologize if you're one of those that needs to see it, but I'll try to present the numbers in a memorable way for you. First of all, for the first time since I've been at the home, we actually started focused efforts on collections and our aging. The efforts have already paid off. This is still in-house. I kind of gave you a sneak preview the last month, but officially for the month of March, our collection on old accounts, and most of these are from 2022, totaled $153,248. In the month of April, our collection on aging accounts was $351,767. So in 2 months' time, we collected on aging accounts over $500,000 just with in-house efforts. So I feel like we're moving in the right direction. As you are aware, we allowed for $2.8 million in potentially bad debt. We finished out 2022 with that, being attached to the expenses. I created a fixed point in time report on the aging that would indicate just stopping with aging through February 28th, but cash applied through April 11th. Our aging report, again, at a fixed point in time, February 28th. So, aging is like working with items on a conveyor belt. It's constantly moving. So working with the accountant consultant that we've been able to bring on board, he confirmed, yes, this is how you can take a snapshot of a fixed point in time. I wanted to see how we were doing with the old money through March 1st, cash through March 1st compared to cash through April 11th. The aging was reduced by 1.1 million. So we're making progress with that. If you remove the 2.8 million from the overall aging of 4.4 million, that leaves 1.6 million in aging. So theoretically, we collected $500,000 of the 1.6 million in just 2 months' effort. I will, in full transparency, that was the low-hanging fruit. So that pace may not be sustainable, but I feel like we're definitely going in the right direction with our aging and with our collection efforts going forward.
Questions? Member Johnston.
Thank you. I appreciate all the work you've been doing. Just a quick question, and this is something that I remember when I first got on the board, I would always ask, because we do have, like this month in March, every year, we have the annual liability insurance. We also have times when we have big IMRF payments. Is there any way that you'd be willing to footnote to say, we expect this bulk expense in March every year? And it's not so much, and yes, people can take this and they can cross-reference the budget, but for kind of record keeping for quick people who are just curious, that would be a great way to very quickly answer, why was it so big this month?
To include that in my report?
Yeah, so just have like a little footnote in March, and then any other month that might have something.
Absolutely.
Is that an option?
On the summary page, where it says budget management, I can definitely add those
Perfect.
snapshots
Okay.
there.
All right, thank you.
That's a great suggestion.
Thank you.
And I think at one point we did have that on there because it was confusing to everyone where you'd see these huge expenses for 1 month and you're like, what the heck happened? And so, yeah, I think it would be helpful.
And I'm trying to put into place efforts to help us with December, because this past December being my first full December with government accounting principles, I learned some things. So I'm trying to prepare us for the accrual hit that December takes every year. so that we've created hopefully some margin or some buffer to absorb that. One of those items is the county administration, whatever that expense is. And the surcharge, yes, the admin surcharge. And so we've even had discussion about, can we break that up over the year so December's not getting snow plowed with everything?
Yeah, I think that kind of, like I said, if you can even things out so that it's easier to follow, because there's like, yeah, all of a sudden, at the end of the year, you'll see either a big jump in profit or loss, kind of thing.
Yes.
And so it's, if you just kind of,
And a lot of, wait for it, we're not done, wait for it, we're not done, and I'm not always good at the wait for it part, but I learned.
any other questions? I think it's great that our census is up. I mean, I cannot remember how many years ago that that we've had 100 people. And I mean, the work that you've done to increase that census, and then the payer mix in that census to get to where we're at, has been very, very good, and probably better than some people's expectations as to what was going to happen, so.
Well, thank you for that encouragement, and if I could just a reminder that the license capacity for the nursing home is 148, but we've developed an operational capacity which is lower by taking some beds out of service to provide for the market desires, more private rooms, and to be more feasible, more realistic with our staffing. We would have a hard time staffing for 148 residents. So where we are right now, 108 to 113, is appearing to be our new maximum. You don't want all your beds full, because then you have no way to deal with incompatibility with roommates, isolation situations. You have nowhere to put anyone. So it's been an exciting couple months here to see the surge in the census, and we want to maintain that momentum.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Next is Jason Tabb, Juvenile Detention Superintendent.
Good afternoon. I have no action items. You should have my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Tabb?
Thank you.
Well, no, I have a question. So I noticed that your mental health screenings have gone up from 0 to 10 in the last couple of months. Is this a new trend, or is it just because we have more kids that need
More
those-
kids and a lot more in and out, kids that aren't staying. We're seeing a lot of turnover, new kids daily, pretty much right now, and they're taking advantage of those services.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Advanced Correctional Health Care, and Ms. Hughes is on her way over, jail superintendent, so I guess we can kind of,
We have new ACH staff, one of which will be joining us this evening with Diane Hughes. She's going to introduce the new regional manager, our new nurse manager, our health services administrator for the facility is also new, but she is dealing with an intake of an inmate and wasn't able to break away. So they are en route right now and will be able to be introduced soon.
I hope. Okay, so we'll kind of skip them and go to Ms. Taylor, County Administrator.
I have no items for action to be presented this evening. I also do not have any information to present. And I'm trying to think of something else that I can say to stall. I know. I will say that we did have a very successful employee health fair, health and wellness fair last week. I don't know if we took account on capacity or how many individuals walked through, but that was a joint effort with the city of Bloomington. I myself attended bright and early in the morning, and while there was still breakfast to be had and coffee to enjoy, and it looked like a very lively fair. There were people at each of the booths engaging, and so it was nice to see that that event was back up and running post-COVID.
Ms. McKnight, would you like to add anything to that?
Thank you for helping me out.
So not much to add, but I think we had around 26 vendors is what we had. And then in terms of county employees that visited was just under 200. So a pretty good turnout. That's about what we were planning and about what we had been seeing prior to COVID. So a good turnout, and we'll be following up with county employees to get feedback about what we can do next year.
Thank you. Does anybody have any other business or communication? No. How long are we going to wait? Let's take a recess for about 10 minutes. All right, we're going to come out of recess. We have Jail Superintendent Diane Hughes, and she's going to introduce the other individuals that are with her.
So today I have.
Microphone, please.
Is that it? Okay. I'm brought with the new Health Services Administrator, Cassie Alexander, and the new Regional Nursing Director, Jessica Hand. Sorry, I am out of breath.
We don't have a report, apparently, and, because oh, there we do. Why did I, oh, I see it.
Page 26.
Duh. So, are there any questions? Vice Chair Johnston.
Thank you. We know that you guys have been working hard to get kind of up to speed and everything and get your feet underneath you at the jail. I've been concerned month after month, we've been waiting for some of the mental health numbers, and I'm just curious, like, when we might be able to expect those numbers for what's happening with the inmates.
Well, I've been.
So if you'll pull the mic down.
I'm sorry, I've been working really closely with the inmate services, trying to gather all the numbers, and we've scheduled some meetings and started creating like due dates for them to get me information that I need for these reports. So I would say for April's numbers, I think that we'll be on track and have everything that you guys have been requesting.
For the June meeting? For the June meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a month behind now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say that we do still have probably 9 people that are still waiting for transportation to the Department of Human Services. And it just is a long time before they get us a bed. So we've tried numerous routes and it just keeps getting pushed down the road. We get told that they have no beds available.
So I guess my question is, in the meantime, what kinds of services are the inmates getting while they wait?
We offer telepsychiatry. We also have licensed clinical social worker, 2 other inmate services, a forensic counselor, and another counselor on staff that address and deal with the mental health needs of the inmates, as well as if they are prescribed medications.
And the ones with the counseling, are those regularly scheduled or are they as needed visits? How are those set up?
They're both. It's
Okay.
dependent on the individual.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
When you bring the report for mental health next month, can you give us some historical information, on that, since we've not had that for a while? Maybe in the monthly report, maybe some historical information.
Regarding the mental health stuff, absolutely. I know Jackie keeps on it and does give it to the sheriff every month, so that's easily obtainable. We do track that.
Yeah, I had a long conversation with Jackie last week or the week before, so. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you very much. And it's at 4 o'clock, it's at 4 o'clock. Okay, does anyone have anything else to bring before the committee? If not, our next meeting is June 8th at 4 o'clock. And then we are adjourned. Thank you very much.